Hello everyone, my name is Masterstarman and welcome back for more Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. Last time, we explored most of what Mount Cornell has to offer. Eventually we made our way to near the summit. It's more of like a peak area because there's higher up parts of this place, but this is kind of like the main central area here. And we basically got here to the second dungeon of the game, the Cave of Flames. Wow, it's hot in here. Come on, let's not stand around wasting time. Find that element so we can get out of here. Pretty big dungeon that it has 4 floors, so quite a step up from last time. If we head over this way, we have some enemies that are very familiar to me because I've been playing a certain other game that they're in. These are essentially bob-ombs here. I don't know if they're actually called bob-ombs in this game or not, but they're basically that. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. You can either use your own bombs to blow that wall up there, or use the bob-ombs. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. And if we head up here, we have a bit of a slightly tougher enemy here. So we'll make a dent in their thorny armor. Flip them over before you strike. These enemies were also in Link's Awakening here, if you're familiar with that game in more contemporary times. Or olden times, they're known as Spinies. Kind of a bit rougher looking in this game than they ever were on the Game Boy Color games, but yeah, they're a thing. And we have another new enemy here. This is a rupee-like here. If it gets into you, it will in fact steal a lot of... If you get sucked up by it, it will in fact steal a lot of money here. You're not going to want to let that happen. Anyways, let's not really waste a whole lot of our time here. I've actually been playing this game a little bit slower than I've probably ever played this game. Like, maybe just from having to read out, like, a lot of the dialogue constantly, but, usually, it doesn't, like, take me, like, 30 minutes to go through Mount Cornell. It usually only takes me, like, 15, but anyway, it's much what the humans use. It's mine to get around. I cannot read today. Maybe we should hop in. What? After this, you don't expect me to believe you're scared. There's nothing to be afraid of here. Come on, let's go. Famous last words, am I right? Jumping jellyfish, that was awful. Anakin, what are you smiling about? I know the madness whisker lives in that rickety human contraption. No, let's just stick to our feet. I mean, your feet. I love that. That's actually like one of my favorite cutscenes in the game there, just because... Yeah, it's definitely something, alright. Anyways... These bob-omb guys can be a little bit annoying, but... Thankfully you throw stuff really, really fast as well, which is a definite plus as well. Definitely still finding a lot of good uses for trusty old Gust Jar here. Very, very, very nice item to have. Killing all those guys, as you see. How interesting. So there was a portal hidden away in here, Whenever you want to shrink, go down and press R. Keep in mind, the last dungeon we were in entirely in Minish size. Not every dungeon in the game will be like that. Some of them will involve you shrinking down mid-dungeon, which is definitely something. Alright. Fortunately, also, enemies don't really get aggroed when you're Minish as well, which is very nice. Can't do anything there. That pit's way too dangerous for you right now. And if we continue heading over here, you'll notice there's a heart piece here and a bombable wall to your north there. You're going to want to keep that in mind for a little bit. And, God, this room looks really pretty. This game really, really, like, to say it's the best looking of the GBA, oh, I can't even cross that as Minish, huh? It's not an understatement to say this is the best looking of the... honestly, I'd say this is the best looking 2D Zelda game even to this day. Like, just... I know it's a matter that sprite work is just good sprite work just always ages really well, but God, the sprites in this game just... It's just nailed. Oh my, that looks really hot in the lava. Trust me, falling in that lava would be a bad idea. I'm sure you agree. Okay, press that button to open up that door there. Don't want to stand on these platforms too long. We can use our gust jar to pick up those things. Get a mysterious shell out of that. Nice, I guess. And check it out, we have moving, crumbling platforms. I was gonna make a joke before, too, when I said that Mount Cornell reminds me of, that one mountain in Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. The fact that there's also involving, like, going into a tornado to, like, traverse over areas there. I did not want to get 50 more rupees there. There is something that I was hoping to buy at a, shop, but I just, I knew I had to buy that one, what should we call it? The power ring there, which or the grip ring that lets you climb up the walls. That does show up on our menu screen as well here. It's kind of in this menu here. So, yeah, very, very nice. So we can get that, though. Anyways, this, that opens that door here, but we're going to want to push this aside here first. Keep pushing. For a small key. Maybe wondering where a small key door was, but there was one that we passed up. I don't know if I showed this on the thing or not here. We take this minecart back. There's in fact yet another locked door here, and I like that this one here is not, it's not a lock to like a different like room overall, it's just a higher up part of a similar room. We can hit the thing there to switch the thingy around here. I know I'm saying thingy a lot here, but we can open up a new path here and completely bypass that one heart piece, because we can just not have nice things. Anyways. I can't do anything with this guy here at all, but we can at least ride along the tracks here. It's always inconsistent in games where, like, sometimes you can walk along tracks and sometimes you can't. Anyways, you may have noticed this here. You may have noticed where I said there was a bombable wall in an earlier area. Yep, it is in fact a piece of heart, which is now a new heart container. Having 6 hearts? 6 hearts, yeah. Will be very, very nice in the near future. Definitely a lot better than just having 5. But for now, it's mini-boss time. These are some spiky shoes, as we pointed out before. Not the hardest enemies in the world. If you use bombs, you can take care of them pretty fast. I believe I was mentioning, they're not mentioning. I have another video on my channel of, one year at MagFest, which is a convention I used to go to in, National Harbor, Maryland. I had a video on my channel of, doing this part of the game for some reason, or like part of the convention. I was just like playing this game while waiting in line at one point. I'll explain this in a sec, but first we can get the Cane of Pachi. This magical rod has the power to flip things over. Use the charge in the energy holes and flip up out of it. Kind of a weird item to describe it. Like the Gust Jar, there's not really anything like this in most other Zelda games, but if we use it here, we can use this to flip this over. Hey kid, why don't you take out the Cane of Pachi and fire it at the hole? I mean, you never know what'll happen. We can use that to energize a hole there and give us a way back and a portal back here. Let's use it to flip this around here. So yeah, as I was saying, I was just playing this game. I was in line waiting for an autograph session, and I don't remember who it was that I was in line for. Crap, that actually does piss me off that I can't remember that. I'll post that in editing who it was, but, yeah, I just remember, because I don't feel like that convention I went to a whole lot of autograph signings. Maybe it was in the evening. I was thinking it was in the afternoon for some reason, but if it was in the evening, it might have been for... I don't think it would have been for... I don't know. Anyways, we can open this up here now. This is kind of the second half of this dungeon here that we're kind of about to head on towards. You're going to want to keep this flipped here. And some puzzles with being a Minish here. So some things that won't aggro us here. But yeah, I just had a random video on my channel of, like, that one part, for some reason, of getting the Cane Apache, and, it wasn't, like, its own specific video. It was part of my MagFest vlog for that year. I was just playing this game on my 3DS at the time. I guess speaking of which, actually, not that this affects 99% of people watching this, but if you got an early model 3DS when that thing first came out in 2011 and got it before, like, August 2011, so only for, like, 4 months, you would be able to actually get this game on your 3DS. Because, yeah, this was released as part of the 3DS Ambassador Program, which was basically, yeah, basically at the time Nintendo felt bad for, the price point of the 3DS, and it wasn't really selling, so they gave away, like, 10 free NES and 10 free GBA games. This was one of them, and I had already played this game for years by then anyway, but even when it was on 3DS, I still played the hell out of this game, because I just like this game, alright? I really like this game. So, up here we can get a green Kinstone piece. What are our Kinstones looking like now anyway? Our bag's starting to look a little fatter. Yeah, as you see, that was a different Kinstone, or actually the Kinstone we had was blue earlier. Yeah, we have 2 blue Kinstone pieces though, so if you notice, they are starting to look a little bit different, which is always pretty decent. Also, don't think I don't notice that. The perspective of these areas did always kind of confuse me a little bit. Another Kinstone piece, very nice. Like, I don't know, just the whole... I get it's like with the whole 3D mountainside and everything, but I don't know, it always just seemed like a weird effect here. Ah, shit. I was impatient. This area always seemed really, really cool to me, though. I also remember one time I was at my aunt's house, and I got to this part of Minish Cap here, or, like, this part of the dungeon, and it was one of those times where I think, like, I was just, like, I kept being told, like, to eat pizza, like, at the time. Like, we were having just a store-bought pepperoni pizza or something, and normally I love pizza. I don't know why I would have been, like, not hungry at the time, but I was kind of acting like a bit of a brat. I just kind of wanted to keep playing this instead of eating. But, I also remember, I guess I'll tell this story now since this is, like, the dungeon that, this is relevant for. I remember one time I loaned this game to one of my friends, and it's still a good friend of mine these days, my friend Mackenzie. She was in one of the Nuts and Bolts bonus videos, and, there's also a secret this way that I want to go after first. If I don't get hit by all these spike traps here. Kinstone piece, very, very nice. I loaned this game to her, like, years ago, and, like, 2006, maybe. Anyway, her younger brother, for some reason, this was like about as far as she got, and even then, I think it was her older cousin who had experience with the Zelda series. He was able to, he was able to help her beat this, like, dungeon. I think this was about as far up as he played. Then her younger brother also erased my save file for some reason. My, like, end game, like, end of, like, pretty much completed save file. And I have no idea why. I was really pissed at the time. But, yeah, that was a thing that happened. If we head up here, I know depth perception again is wasting money. It's fine, it's fine. I'm honestly not that worried about money in this game, believe me. It's actually a lot more, like, prevalent than you would think it is. We also don't have the dungeon map either, which is really weird because we are at the very end of this dungeon, so I don't know where that was. Oops. That's usually like the first dungeon item most people get, but we're pretty much at the end here. Mackenzie's older cousin, actually, he helped me out with a different part of a later dungeon that I'll point out whenever we get to that area, because, that was another, like, area that, another thing that kind of, like, okay, wait, where the frick am I missing a... I don't know where I'm missing this damn, like, big map, the dungeon map here, but, because it's saying we're only really missing it in the one room here. Not that helpful. I'm just gonna say that straight up front here, I guess, because we're at the end. I actually kind of would have rathered that fairy there, now that I think about it, because... Oh, nice. Probably do not need this, but might as well for extra assurance here. Even though the Kanapachi, I haven't really gone over it a whole lot in this. It's not really a good offensive weapon because it doesn't do damage, but I always did quite enjoy it. But now's not the time for Kanapachi because we have a boss fight. And that's what I call a monster. This is Gleerock. Not to be confused with Gleeok, who's a very recurring Zelda boss here. You want to flip his shell up on his side, and then walk across, and hit him a whole bunch of times here. I believe this is phase-based. I don't believe this is, max number of hits. I could be mistaken about that, but... eventually his pool of lava will kind of start expanding a bit here. It expands really far, actually, but then it does shrink down a bit. Eventually, Gleerock will start shooting out a string of fire at you here. You kind of want to wait for his shell to not be glowing, like, super, super red here. And just attack away at his core once again. And get off once he does that there. You can attack the fire here to get hearts from time to time, which is definitely a very, very nice thing here. I believe this, I feel like this does expand further out this time than before, but you just kind of want to stand on the far edge there. Now, Gleerock is going to start spewing a ton of fire. You want to keep that in mind here. He's not that hard of a boss. Like, that's all she wrote, but it's definitely a unique idea. I think it's a much more interesting idea than the giant green shoo-shoo. He can be a little bit annoying if you get caught up in the fire sometimes, but that being said, that's it for him. You got the fire element. Flames bring light to darkness and warmth to all. The fire element is the embodiment of that power. Got a heart container. For some reason, my mind the whole time when I was thinking that fire element there was, for some reason, thinking of Lifelite there from Smash Ultimate, but I don't know why, but it just kind of was. Oh, that was hot. So hot. I thought my fibers would catch fire. Ah, but it's over now. I suppose we should go back and speak to Malari. I just want to know where the frick that one big chest was. Holy good God, how on God's name did I miss this? Oh, I feel like such a dummy. It was just right here. Not useful at all, but it's a thing. Next time on The Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap, we're gonna go back to... we're gonna go back to get her upgraded sword and... bleh. With all that being said, that's gonna do it for this episode of Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. Next time, we're going to leave this dungeon, go back and see what... Malari has to say, and we'll probably leave Mount Cornell. Now that we have 2 elements in our hands, you may think this adventure's, like, almost over, but, we're kind of just getting started. With all that being said, thank you for watching. I've been Masterstarman, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.